Hello and welcome to the Daily Debate Live Wednesday with Taghreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we are going to talk about our global bond with Africa. Egypt is in the heart of Africa, and the strategic Egyptian vision vis-à-vis the African continent under the leadership of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Egypt has spearheaded a diplomatic renaissance that is aimed at restoring Egypt's historic centrality in African affairs, also asserting that Africa's circle is one of the core pillars of the Egyptian foreign policy. The President has directed to forge deep partnerships ranging from security and name it to also economic collaborations with the African nations all across the continent. The President counts Egypt as more than a gateway between the Arab world and Africa and sees it central to regional solidarity and also to prosperity. Domestically, the Comprehensive Vision 2030, integrating the global standards and supporting sectors critical to both national and also continental development. So regionally, the President's support for the infrastructure of Africa through several infrastructure projects reinforces this sense of approach and highlighting how the Egyptian expertise is really vital for the African continent. Tonight, along with our distinctive guest, Professor Dr. Nevine Nakhla, Professor of Business Administration, we'll be talking Africa, more investment opportunities across the African continent, Africa's soft power, the cultural dimension that also binds Egypt to Africa, and above all, of course, the human capital, the human potential in Africa. Dr. Nevine, thank you so much for coming.
I'm very honored. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Well, tonight we'll be delving into more concerning the different partnership and partners supporting the African states and paving the way for self-efficiency amid the different global challenges. Let's watch this report highlighting Egypt's strategic renaissance in Africa, and we'll be back.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have cast Egypt not merely a Mediterranean crossroads but a pivotal engine of African unity and growth, reflecting his unwavering catalytic ambition to revive and reshape Egyptian-African relations. Under his strategic direction, President Sisi said that Egypt has deepened political, economic and infrastructural ties, reforming Egypt's status as both a natural gateway and a provocative development partner across the continent. At the heart of Egypt's African strategy lies a program of bold infrastructural development. Domestically, projects like the Suez Canal Economic Zone, new administrative capital, and Egypt's Vision 2030 roadmap signal a commitment to modernization. These mega projects serve dual functions. They boost Egypt's own economic resilience and act as living templates for partner nations evaluating collaboration with Egyptian firms, positioning Egypt as a logistical and industrial hub. President Sisi's vision regarding Africa has manifested in frequent high-level visits, phone dialogue, and shared public statements with African leaders from South Africa and Rwanda to Angola, Mozambique, and more, demonstrating his developmental approach. A consistent theme across these encounters is collective action against terrorism, climate change, and socio-economic stability. Egypt today ranks among Africa's top 10 countries in infrastructure developments, thanks to partnerships spanning governments, private sectors, and international organizations. President Sisi has made it clear that financing Africa's infrastructure is a priority, aiming to blend Africa-focused policy and global outreach, evoke continental integration, and attract foreign direct investment by manufacturing for Arab and African markets. Furthermore, under President Sisi's guidance, Egypt has strengthened regional security and diplomacy, binding security with development in its African overture. President Sisi has not only revived but reshaped Egypt's relations with Africa, rethinking infrastructure, trade, investment, diplomacy and security. President Sisi's vision positions Egypt as a continental linchpin at the intersection of ambition and opportunity, verifying its role from observer to essential actor in Africa's renewal. With its modern infrastructure, highways, canals and zones, Egypt's influence has extended beyond the Nile Valley to the heart of Africa and beyond.
Da ist eine Tür, die aus der Hölle führt. Hinter dieser Tür liegt ein Weg aus Stein und dieser Weg bringt dich zum Paradies. Da ist ein Tor, doch man lässt dich hier nicht rein. Hinter dem Tor herrscht Angst. Warum klopfst du hier an? Warum kommst du hier lang? Bevor die Angst eure Herzen trennt, kommt und reicht euch die Hand. Eine Welt, eine Heimat. Stell dir vor, es geht einfach. Träume helfen uns weiter. Eine Welt, eine Heimat. Eine Welt, eine Heimat.
So we're talking Africa, we're talking our bond with the African continent. Dr. Nevine, definitely there has been lots of effort exerted on behalf of the Egyptian leadership in order to bring Egypt to Africa again. And we've seen tremendous efforts and achievements in Africa, name it, vis-a-vis bilateral relations on more than one front. The political front, also cooperation, investment and more. This shift is definitely reflecting many messages. How do you see those messages?
First of all, when we say Africa, we say the food basket of the world. We say the heart of the world and the full youth and body. Africa is 1.4 billion population of young population. The median age is around 20 years old. We are going to be the second biggest economy in the world soon. We saw that His Excellency, our beloved President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, reshaped the relationship of our continent, not only by being the best and the most visits in the continent, but also by real relationships, real bilateral relationships. We saw Egypt's strength and Egypt's support in the Tanzania Dam, for example, with the consortium of the Egyptian construction. We saw a lot of bilateral relationships and also the great infrastructure in connecting the roads and the seas and connecting Africa together. Our geographical location allows Egypt to be the gateway for Europe, for even Asia, to all Africa. So being part of this continent, we are very lucky and very proud of being Africans. And a lot is taking place in this time with a lot of bilateral relations, economical, political, security, a lot of trading not only in goods but also in service. And we want to congratulate Egypt for being sharing the AFCFTA, African Free Continental Trade Agreement. Egypt is the share and the president of the agreement this year. So we are Africa.
Yes, we are Africa. We are in the heart of Africa, and we also feel the beat, as we all know that the Egyptian-African relations under the leadership of His Excellency, the President, had envisioned a unifying convergence. Egypt as a facilitator, as an investor, as a leader that is fostering this sense of unity among all African countries. So the President's vision, let me say, Dr. Nevine, had ignited this sense of continental bond.
Yes, very much. And not ink on paper, but with the actions and with real cooperation and real work together. Now we have the plan of logistics hubs, a lot of logistic hubs inside many African countries, like Rwanda, for example, for Egyptian even products and Egyptian support and construction and everything. The relationship is not to be, I mean, it's real on the ground with many bilateral cooperation and relationship.
Yes, and during Egypt's AU presidency, we've seen also great steps undertaken forward, putting into consideration reaping the fruits and the emergence of Egypt as the voice of Africa at large, and actually you've been building on this sense of unity and this sense of cooperation, and also this sense of achievement, Egypt's achievements in Africa. This has been a year that is going to remain memorable for Egypt-Africa relations, the AU 2019 presidency. Yeah. So how are we building on what has been achieved? A lot has been achieved during that year.
Yes. And let me say also, COP27, when it was in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, it was one of the fruits of Egypt representing Africa in the COP27 and in the green energy and green field and sustainable development. Egypt is one of the leading countries in the sustainable development goals achievements, with a lot of initiatives taken place. So also we are like a role model and a supporter and a lot of unity together.
Yes, at summits large and small, from Africa's Britain Investment Summit, where His Excellency President Sisi had highlighted the Pan-African reform initiatives, like, as Dr. Nevine has said, the Continental Africa Free Trade Agreement, to today, where His Excellency's vision vis-à-vis the continent is remaining consistent. So Africa is remaining and must be strategically intertwined, and this is the vision. It's very important, this need for Africa. We're talking about the need of Africa that we aspire, the need for African countries to work together as one hand and to further implement this vision. How are we implementing this vision on solid grounds, Dr. Nevine?
Africa is, as we said, is the food basket of the world, and a lot of resources, a lot of raw materials are coming from east and west, north and south of Africa. We have from gold to diamond to copper to uranium to cocoa to coffee to tea to shea butter to cotton like Burkina Faso and Egypt and other countries, and a lot of raw materials that feed the world. Old times, the continent were exporting raw materials and then bringing them back to the continent with times 100 of dollars produced outside of the continent. But today, with the AFCFTA, with all the agreements, even the trade agreements and the bilateral agreements together, each country is starting to manufacture what they have. Mm-hmm. A lot also is taking place in the supply chain and in the value chain between countries. We saw that, for example, Gabon now, they have the biggest factory for wood. We saw that Ghana, for example, now they are producing chocolate from the cocoa they have. We saw that Kenya, for example, the tea is not leaves anymore. They are exported as manufactured. So, and of course, we saw our country, Egypt, with the Egyptian cotton and the great exports of cotton from Egypt and other like home appliances, like a lot of fruits, vegetables, frozen, fresh, a lot. So this is the real Africa manufacturing, and also the logistic support and the trading. If we talk about the trading under the new AFCFTA agreement with the new e-tariff, the e-tariff is the customs between Africa now is almost free. We have 3 categories: Category A, Category B, and Category C of products. Category A is 90% of the products in each country that will be no customs, zero customs between 5 to 10 years, which is 90% of each country's products. And Category C, which is 7% of a little bit more sensitive products, with no customs between Africa between 10 to 13 years. And we saw Category C, which is the most sensitive, only 3%.
Right now, we'll be moving on to the prayers, and we will be back right after the prayers to resume our discussion.